Hello, thank you for tuning into this video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Viseart Lilas palette that just came out recently, and I will be doing this eye look, so if you'd like to see that, you can just keep on watching. Here is the palette here. It's very small, which I have no problem with. I'm happy to have a small palette. And here are the colors here. So I am doing this in natural light. I know that a lot of the pictures online can look very different in terms of what the colors are here. And it even looks different in different lights to my eyes. So this is what it is in natural light, and it's a very gray day out. But that's it. So I just want to do a little look with this, and let's get started on that. Just wanted to do a little look with this and just see how all the shadows perform and sort of what the effect is going to be like on me. So to start out, I'm going to go in with this sort of pinky rosy shade here. Unfortunately, the palette doesn't have a mirror in it, so I'm just going to use a different little mirror here. Okay, so you can see that pigment already showing up. I did, slightly prime my eyes a little bit. I just have a little bit of concealer on them, which I set very, very lightly with a loose powder. I like this color a lot. This is always the kind of matte color that I'm looking for. It's not too warm, which I usually find is the problem that I have with a lot of shades that I think or hope are going to give this effect to me. Usually they're too peachy and warm, but this one is not too warm at all. So I'm really happy with that. Okay, so that's just that first pinky shade that I showed you right there. Just in the sort of crease area and blend it up a little bit. All right, next I'm going to go in with a smaller brush. So this is the mini booster from Sonia G. The other one I was using was the classic crease, I think. Yeah, classic crease. Okay, and so let's take the mini booster, and I want to go in with this more sort of grayish taupey kind of shade. And that's giving a little bit of a nice slight definition and shadow right where I want it, sort of in the socket line there. But it's very faint, but in a good way. I like the subtlety of this. I was just playing with the Charlotte Tilbury Fire Rose palette, and you'll probably might be able to see some glitter on my face from that because I just had it on before this, and it has no subtlety to it at all, in my opinion, at least on me. It's very bold, and this is quite the opposite. It's lovely and subtle. Okay, now I want to actually define that socket line a little bit more, and I'm going to use this darkest shade. I know it's a shimmer or metallic-y type shade, but I think it'll work okay, and I just want to see what happens when I try to go in and get a little bit more definition in the outer part here and in the socket. Yeah, that's working quite nicely for me. You can see a little bit of the shine, but it's not too much, and it's giving me a little bit more definition that I was looking for there. Okay, I'm gonna go back in to the first shade that I used, that pinky shade, and just kind of blend out everything here. I want that color to show up a little bit more and sort of have a good presence in this look. All right, and for the lower lash line, I'm going to try with that other matte shade, the more taupey color. And let's see how that goes. I'm sometimes a bit hesitant to put gray type shades under my eye because they can really sort of make me look drawn in a way. Like blue shades will also do that under my eye. This seems to be all right. It's not, again, it's not so strong of a color that it's going to have a huge impact. It's just giving me a little bit of almost kind of a natural little shadow under my eye, which I like. Again, it's hard for me to find shades that will do that for me, that'll give those sort of natural shadowy looks, because shades tend to pull so warm on me in general. So I'm quite pleased to have this quite cool toned palette. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but in person, this is making me look a little bit drawn. It's just emphasizing sort of the blue and grayish tones under my eyes a little bit. So I'm gonna go back in with the rosier matte and just sort of blend through there. See if that helps a little bit. Yeah, that brings a little bit more life back to it. So, okay, I think that's good for sort of the basic look. And I want to use this shade, which I haven't used yet, this shimmer here, which is a kind of grayish lilac color, which makes sense given the name of the palette. So I'm just, ooh, that's really nice. Now, I've seen a couple of other videos of this palette already, and I was really impressed by the way the shimmers looked in those videos. Viseart shimmers, in my experience, tend to not be super blingy, but these are, I would say, shinier than the Viseart shimmers that I am used to. So you can even see it there. It's quite shiny, and it's quite a beautiful color too. It's not too gray because it has that nice little lilac tone mixed in with it there. So it's not going to be too silver or too stark. And I think it goes very nicely with the rest of this whole quad. I'm going back in with my classic crease again into that sort of rosy shade just to soften the line from where I added that shimmer. Okay. And I guess I should put it in my inner corner too. So I'm just going to go back in. By the way, I used this soft shader from Sonia G. I'm slowly building a little bit of a Sonia G brush collection. I'm really happy with everything that I've tried so far from her. So I'm trying to kind of just focus on, if I'm getting new brushes, I think I want them to be Sonia G, because I find that all the ones I've used so far have been the best quality and the highest performing brushes that I've ever used. So I think since I've found a good brand and line of brushes that I'm quite happy with, I would like to stick with it. All right, so I just took that down a little bit, and I'm going to go back in with the mini booster, back into that dusty pink, just again to kind of blend everything nicely so we don't have any harsh lines. So I just lined my upper waterline with the Cocoa liner from Victoria Beckham. And I want to now take this little angled liner brush and go into the deepest shade here and do a little bit of liner above my lash line. So obviously it's not too defined of a liner, but it is giving me that depth that I'm looking for right up against the lash line. Okay, so there is the look, all finished. I will put on mascara, but I wanted you to be able to see it as well as possible here. Okay, so here's the completed look with the Viseart Lilas palette. I'm very happy with this palette. This is the only one out of the 4 Petit Fours palettes that came out that I bought. It was the only one that was really calling to me. I did like the look of the Framboise because I love pink and reddy, you know, pink toned eyeshadows, but I thought that I had enough sort of in that range already that I didn't need to get that. And I also liked the look of, oh, I can't remember what it's called, but the lighter sort of brownish caramelly type colors. I like the look of that too, but it was the same kind of thing. Like I already have shades that I think are quite similar to those. This one for me was filling a hole in my makeup collection that I'm very happy to have filled. So as I was saying when I was applying these shadows, the tones are nice and cool, and they're cool in the way that I like them to be. Usually these types of tones that I want to look like these ones do on my eyes, they usually disappoint me because they're too warm. These are perfectly cool, and I'm really happy with that. It's kind of hard to find those types of shadows. So I don't have really anything bad to say about this palette. I do wish there were a mirror there, but that's a very small criticism, and I understand why they didn't put a mirror in here. The price of these is not too bad for Viseart, so I'm all right with foregoing the mirror here. I think I'll do some swatches on my arms just so you can see all the colors on their own. So here are the swatches. I put the 2 metallics side by side, and then I have the 2 mattes here. I don't think Viseart's shadows swatch that great, and I think that's something that others have noted as well. But really that doesn't matter. If they apply on the eyes well, then that's all that I personally care about. I think that's all I really wanted to say about this palette. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave those down below. If you would like to see more from me, please subscribe down below. And thank you so much for watching this video. Take care. Bye.